from us. And I want you, we can bring it on the floor. Never danced like this before. We don't talk about it. Dance.
Hey guys, what's cracking? It is Cracking Nation, coach of the Boston Bisharps, and today we are coming at you with something just a little bit different, but something I am nonetheless incredibly excited about. What we got here, we got the CSML Season 5 interface. This video is just to teach you guys, all about it, what went into it, how to use it, what it's going to be capable of. It's basically, it's not necessarily the end-all be-all of our spreadsheets, but it is kind of a next era in terms of spreadsheets made for Pokemon, I suppose. Yeah, we're going to be going in-depth on every type of function that it has. We're going to be looking at it in and out. We got a lot of tabs here to go through, and so hopefully by the end of this, you guys have a greater appreciation and a greater understanding of what it can do. Guys, we're just going to hop right into it. We got right here our home page, where these four boxes will have the teams that you are competing with listed in their respective divisions, being Ruby, Sapphire, Diamond, and Pearl. We got our news and a current week calculator, which calculates week based on how many battles have already transpired. We have a list of useful links, including the official server, YouTube channel, suggestion form, CSL information, recruitment form, previous seasons, the drafting tiers, a special thanks, and a list of CSL YouTubers. I realize these pictures are out of line. I just don't know how to fix this, so I will try to keep working on it because they aren't out of line in this version, as you can probably see right here. They're just in line here. So we will be going. This is the published version that all players will have access to. And this is the version where I worked on. So this is like the workbook kind of. And so the published version obviously being a little kind of easier to to see everything, a little prettier, a little it's also different functionally. I should actually get into that. So by publishing the spreadsheets like this, what we're essentially accomplishing is that the Season 5 interface has an impossibly large amount of functions going on constantly. Every time you load it, it has to reload almost all the functions. And so what that's going to do is it's going to cause a lot of time it's going to take to load the content that you just want to look at. So to work around that, what I found was that you can publish the spreadsheet, and essentially by publishing it, it becomes a website of sorts. And that's let me explain why that's a good thing. The spreadsheet, first of all, you lose all this extra crap that nobody really needs to see unless you are editing it. And everything becomes easily clicked on through links. But beyond just that, as you can see here, updated automatically every 5 minutes. And so what that does for us is that you no longer have to load the actual spreadsheet every single time. Google itself keeps the spreadsheet active and updates it automatically every 5 minutes. So this spreadsheet is always up and live 100% of the time. All you're doing, it's like any other website. It's always updated, always live on its own. But you don't have to. So what that does is it doesn't have to reload every single time somebody wants to open it, which takes time. It's always there. All you have to do is look at it like any other spreadsheet. The functions are always going to be constantly being calculated by Google itself. So the goal is to reduce the amount of lag time that the spreadsheet otherwise would have taken. So yeah, we have our links, our week calculator. This is our homepage with our logo and everything. I'm pretty excited about it. I also made. Basically, yeah, 100% of the artwork was made by me as well. But next up, I guess we're going to be looking at our score sheets. So in previous seasons, as you know, score sheets were all listed right there all together. However, for this season, we are doing a monstrously different system. This is a combination of score sheets, individual Pokemon rankings, and what should I say? Score sheets, individual Pokemon rankings, in one, as well as drafts all in one. So for example, we're going to go straight to the Ruby division. Welcome to the overall division statistics for the Ruby division. What we got here is a lot to take in, I realize, so we're going to try to hop right into it. You got your total division wins, losses, and overall win-to-loss ratio. That's going to be the sum of the wins, sum of losses, and the comparison of the two. If we go over here, you can see these are all coded for. Everything is automatic, so that's going to be pretty nice. We also have a sum of total division kills, deaths. Why is that? I don't know. Sometimes this thing gets finicky. You can see this is just fine. It has the borders just fine. And they disappear here. I don't know. It gets finicky. But total division deaths and overall differential, that is all summed up. We have divisional top Pokemon. So essentially, if you guys aren't familiar with the new code, this code will automatically keep track of the Pokemon that are leading the division in terms of kills. So it will be taking the Pokemon listed down here, sorry about that, and basically summing them up into who is the current division leader. So I'll just get rid of the code for a second and type in a. If Mudkip, hashtag Mudkip, is the divisional leader, Mudkip will appear here. It won't appear here automatically because this thing hasn't updated, updates every 5 minutes again. So in 5 minutes, we can expect to see Mudkip there, but Mudkip will certainly appear there in 5 minutes if I left it there. And as well as the other Pokemon that are following, trailing behind, will be all listed here with the respective differentials all here as well. Over here we have the current divisional leaders. So right now you only have one team because all teams are just called team name, but this will be basically a way to keep track of who is currently leading their division, which is pretty cool. This is going to automatically order it so you can right away see where people are standing. We have the current week results, which is going to be current week results. Basically, each team's name will appear here, as well as the current result of this week battle they have done this week, if it has happened. Clearly, no battles have happened in week 1, so there are no results here yet. So, but it will have the result saying win or loss, and it will say their score. So, if they won 6-0, hopefully the goal is that it will say 6-0 here. We have previous week results, which is going to be basically just a way to kind of have summation of how they're doing at the moment between current and previous. As you can see, week 0 just does not exist as a concept, and that's why it says NA. So this box will essentially always be the previous box of this week, and that's just going to be how it is. So it should be a good way to just take a quick glance, see how that team has been doing recently, if they won this week, how they did last week, kind of see where their momentum lies. Definitely a cool feature. Yeah, so that's basically what those do. I have considered adding some color to these, so you guys may end up seeing some coloration. As far as if it says win, it'll stay win. If it says was a loss, it'll say loss. So I will probably get around to that potentially, although I am unsure if I want to do that. It's easy if I do, I just don't know if it's going to look good in the end. Finally, we get over to our team cards, kind of, I call them. They all are kind of card-shaped, so like team cards. So you have your logo, which will be right here. For example, if I want to load up my own logo, CSL, official CSL logos, we can load up the Boston Bisharps right here. The Boston Bisharps will appear right there, and it'll look like basically just like that. And it'll say your team name, your coach name, and your franchise pick will be right here. So if I go to, I have a bunch of stuff saved, so you guys about to see a crazy amount of stuff. But if we go to Pokemon images, I have a crazy amount of pictures of Pokemon saved. What is my, I think I have Snorlax, right? Isn't Snorlax on here? Definitely have it saved somewhere. I've used it before. Snorlax right there. Okay. I have a lot of Pokemon saved because I've used them for my various videos. And then your franchise will appear right here like so. And you'll have your team name, your coach name, current win count, current loss count, differential of your total battles, current time, which will change for everybody. I've been kind of tweaking it, making sure it works. So currently for me, it is 9:04. And this is, I'm checking if these all work. So currently this one is actually on 0, and this one's on -3, and I've just been tweaking them all to see if they all can work independently, because I'm not sure if that's going to work as well for everybody, but it works for me so far. So the goal, what that's hoping to achieve, is essentially just the ability to give everybody a sense of when their opponent's current time is. As you can see, this actually hasn't updated in a while because there have been no changes in the spreadsheet, so it hasn't really needed to. If you were to refresh this, I think these times would change, however, if you were to refresh the page, which I just did, but it's taking a sec. Oh, so if we go over to Ruby, it'll appear, and the time has updated actually, so you can see that. So while the time is updating constantly here, you'll need to refresh the page to update things here. That's kind of how it is. I don't think that's a big deal, though. I don't think anybody's going to care too much. So we have our wins, losses, differential, current time, power rank, which will be listed here, as well as your current streak. So if you are on a 1-win streak, this will be a 1. If you are on a 1-loss streak, this will be a -1, and so on and so forth. We also have all your Pokemon, and this will be the kills count, the deaths count, and the differential count. And in future seasons, you can expect to also see a brought count, which is how many times you have brought said Pokemon, but that has not been implemented for this season, as, you know, by the time we decided we were considering it, it was basically too late in the process to go around messing with everything and adding a count again. I'm curious as to why this is 0. Let's just fix that. Oh, okay, all done. But so yeah, so you have that, and again, you have them for all 4 boxes, all 4 teams, and then you also have this same artwork on every single division. So you have your Hoenn Conference and your Sinnoh Conference, and those will be kept track of like that. These pictures are slightly out of line, and it annoys me so much, but I don't know how to fix it. I've tried so hard, but yeah. So these are all exactly the same thing essentially, as you can see. Should be cool. Should be cool. So that's basically what these are doing. I'm pretty amped to see what it will be able to accomplish. Basically, it's kind of a way for people to be able to see all the information about any team they want, basically in a nutshell, right from their divisional page. You can see how they're doing at the moment. Of course, there are other places you can check more information on the team, which we're about to get into. First up on the things that are new this season is league stats. So currently there are no teams, so league stats is kind of weird looking. I realize. That's okay. If we go over to league stats here, basically these are all coded to automatically give you power rank, team name, power rank based on what our friend Marionette puts in. But over here we have is basically a way to look at basically the information of the respective divisions, all kind of in a nutshell right here, right for you to look at and learn whatever you need. You have your conference wins count, losses, win-loss, kills, deaths, differential, so you can compare the 2 conferences, how they are doing in respect to each other, as well as your team, Ruby top team, Sapphire top team, and conference leader for both conferences. We also have a spot where the top conference MVP, basically the top of all Pokemon in the respective conferences, will be able to be listed here, and you will be able to see who is leading the league or their respective conferences as far as most threatening Pokemon. Basically all it does, it's a cool feature though for sure, because it allows us to essentially see how our 2 conferences are doing. A lot of people like to say like, oh, this conference is very competitive right now. This conference is pretty easy right now. And so this should, in theory, give us a way to, in a nutshell, quickly examine how the 2 conferences are doing in respect to each other. Yeah, essentially that's what it's doing. Here we have our top mons spreadsheet, like sheet individual. So we have our most valuable Pokemon and second, third, and we have these second, third for all 3 of them. We have top killer and most deaths and worst Pokemon. So essentially this one will be based on differential, kill count, death count, differential again, and you'll be able to see which Pokemon has been the most valuable to their team and which Pokemon has been the, in theory, least valuable to the team. Of course, as always, these aren't super indicative of anything, because a lot of defensive Pokemon, for example, will get terrible differentials, but not because they haven't done well. It's just because they aren't Pokemon that score kills in general. So you're going to have your defensive Pokemon over here, probably. Alas, what are you going to do, right? But yeah, so this is essentially a way to see who's leading the league all at once, and so that will basically be a summation of what you see here in the league stats and the top killers and top differentials. If I didn't say it earlier, these are all based on differential right here. Next up, we have the matchups. That is currently empty, rip. But this is how the matchups are lined up. So you'll be having your 6 divisional matches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your conference matches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and your national matches, 1, 2. For a total of 12 weeks, and you'll be able to see, obviously because there are no teams entered yet, all these are still empty. They are all wired together, so essentially when we put the team name in one place, it'll update everywhere else. Next up, we have our results tab. So this is essentially going to be a place where you'll be able to see, as in past seasons, the results of every week in season. But we are trying something a little new here. Before we get into that, I should just say you have your 8 teams. Why does that say 10? What? Finding a bunch of weird little things I didn't know. Count us. C24. C33. But these don't have anything in them. Huh. No idea. Who knows? That's interesting. Okay, well, regardless, basically this will be a box that says win. This will be a box that says the score or win loss. And so if we typed in a win here, this would automatically turn green. If we typed in 3-0, that would automatically turn green as well. However, if we typed in a loss, that would automatically turn red, so on and so forth. It also automatically calculates wins, loss, differential, and divisional wins. So you can kind of see all your information in a nutshell as far as how the league has been doing every season. So basically, what I want to do, though, is talk about something that I haven't really touched on yet. If you haven't heard, this season, the spreadsheet is completely, in theory, 100% automated. What that means is that there is no need to go into the spreadsheet editor itself and do anything. It's kind of crazy, but I got it to work. And so there is a really big amount of trust that we are giving to the members of the league. However, we will definitely be able to go in and control these. Don't think that we are unable to do that, because as you can see in battle submissions here, we have a way to monitor them very easily. So if anybody cheats on anything, or anybody starts messing with shit, or anybody starts making mistakes, we have a way to go in and fix it. That's not too hard, but we are giving a lot of trust to the player base with this. However, basically what you're going to do, I'm going to walk people through this. You click on the result submission link, and it'll take you to this form. And this is where you submit your battles. So you say which week is your battle in. Let's say week 12. Your team name. So here's what I'm going to do, actually. We're going to kind of mess around with this. I'll show you guys what it's capable of. Boston Bisharps. I'm the Boston Bisharps. I'm going to put Manaphy here. Right? Manaphy is my Pokemon. And there's 0 kills for Manaphy. So we're at the battle form. I'm the Boston Bisharps. Please submit your replay link, ASDF. So basically, if you submit your link, you have to submit your link here because it will automatically hyperlink the battle for us, which is very important. And I won, and I got a 6-0 because, you know, that's how I do. So let's say Manaphy, right? Manaphy. Just type in, got 5 kills, but it did die. That just, you know, Manaphy went off, and then I had to clean up from there or something. Who knows? And then we can just, of course, you have to fill all these in, so I will be making them probably required. These all need to be filled in, but here's what happens. Ready? If it doesn't work right now, I'm going to be devastated. But in theory, what should happen now is the battle submission should... Oh, you know what this is? Because this is a copy of the spreadsheet, it's not going to work. But what will happen after you do that... that was kind of anticlimactic. What will happen after you do that? If we go to the... it actually should... it's not going to fix here either. What's going to happen is this is going to update. This is going to update this. And that's going to go straight into here. And so wins, losses, and Pokemon scores, results will be automatically updated. Everything basically automatically gets updated. So you have to be 100% truthful on that. We will be monitoring them extremely regularly. But in theory, if everybody is fair and honest about it, we should have a spreadsheet that is 100% automated, doesn't require any outside input beyond just filling out the form after the battle. Something I do need to clarify, both winners and losers need to fill out a battle form. If you do not enter your loss, you will have no result whatsoever for that week. It will mess up the system. It will mess up the system. As you can see, Boston Bisharp updated here, it updated here, it updated here, it updated everywhere. It updated here. Pretty cool, right? I do need to say that, yeah, again, it will mess up the system if you don't log it. So both winners and losers need to keep track of their stuff and log their battles. We will be drilling that in time and time again, I am sure. But you guys need to remember to log your battles. If you lost, if you won, put your replay link in, put your Pokemon's wins, kills, and deaths in, score in. It'll tell you all about how to do it in the form. It's very easy to work with, honestly. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. honestly even less. It's like, I don't know how it would take you even 5. It should take you like 2. And that will save us and you a lot of effort. It'll make everything easy and everybody does their part. So I'm really excited about that feature. Please don't mess it up. We will be checking, and we would prefer to not have to go in and fix anything. It's not too hard to do, but it would be nice to know that the league is a place where we can trust everybody to get stuff done. Yeah. So next up, we have our playoffs. Playoffs will be automatically calculated based on what we are entering. So it'll basically automatically calculate playoffs. It kind of was hard to set up. You guys want to see some of these hidden sheets that are doing all the code here? We go to code page. This is basically a way how it's calculating top mons, current week, and playoff standings. Essentially, it's just filtering based on the equation I wrote. It's filtering everything into this kind of based on this index sort code. It's filtering everything into that. Filters everything again and again. And eventually you get your divisional leaders. It does the same thing for the top Pokemon. And then I also have a week calculator based on the results tab, which is basically counting if the results are 0 or 1, based on if it's really complicated, honestly. But it checks if the box is empty. If the box is empty, it's a 0. If the box isn't empty, it's a 1. Counts the week up. Yeah. So that's basically what that is capable of. We have playoffs, which essentially, are going to be completely self-calculated, and that's the goal. If we have to tie-break things, we can tie-break things. Hopefully, we won't need to, but it is in. There is I do have ways to do it, so I'm not too worried. And we do also have this season the losers bracket, which will be divisional, basically the players 7 through 12 competing for another post-season match to just try to get some stuff to do in the postseason, so that more players have options about things to do in the postseason. Next up, we have trades and free agents. This is the same as it's always been in other seasons. The trades and free agents is just going to be a list of what Pokemon receives what. There's really a way to do this more efficiently. There totally actually is. I could easily do it, but it actually doesn't save anybody any time to put it in their trades like by hand. And it doesn't really save any time, so I figured it wasn't worth it. Trades don't happen super often in our league, so I figured it wasn't worth the time I would invest in it anyways. But in an effort to maybe change that, by suggestion of BC Lions and Dubstep Penguins, we have the trade ads this season. So the trade ads are pretty freaking exciting. Essentially, when you put I'm going to go over to it over here. You're going to click on this link. Anybody has... Essentially... one sec. Sorry about that. I was testing some stuff. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this link, put in the information that you need to put in, and it's going to have your team name. And if we go to over here, if I put in my team name will automatically be updated. Let's say I want to trade away Manaphy. Manaphy will appear, water type, and OU. Bam, like that. What's another put? Let's say I want to trade away Vileplume. Bam, grass, poison type, and NU. Just like that. Just like that. So essentially, that's going to be a way for players to show what Pokemon they're willing to trade away, and then also type in the types they're looking for and potential quality. So I could be looking for a water, fire type, like so. Water, fire, or something, and maybe a bulky defensive, or maybe like an offensive fast or something. Type in some traits you're looking for. So next up, we got Mons not taken. Basically, what this is doing is we look at the MNC code. It's compiling a list of all Pokemon that have been drafted, which is right here. And which is obviously because these are not filled in yet. There's no names here, and a list of all Pokemon in every tier. And from there, what it does is it sorts them based on the tiers that we have provided in another spreadsheet. And it checks if they have been, if they are still available, it will say true. If they have been taken, this will say false. The mon will be counted taken, and its name will be removed from the list. And then finally, what will happen is that over at the MNT, that list will be compiled. So, for example, this is a code that I can pretty easily show off, actually. go over to, let's say, Sapphire, and I type in Aegislash is one of the first Pokemon on there, right? Aegislash is taken. So if we go to Mons, not taken, Aegislash is gone. Let's say Azumarill is taken too, right? Because we just saw Azumarill there. Azumarill gets picked up. Azumarill is gone. So that will be a way to automatically see something we've been wanting to implement for a while, but it's really hard to do by hand. Managed to do it on my own through code, make it work with the dynamic of things that happen in the league. So if Pokemon tier change, it'll automatically update according to that, all of that. So it will basically just have a list of all Pokemon that are still available for you to pick up if you are curious in free agenting a Pokemon. So that's Mons not taken, and you can see clear lists for all of them. We got the draft stats. So draft stats is also automatically being calculated. Draft stats is cool because it essentially lets you see a summation of how the team will perform in terms of in certain areas. Not 100% accurately, but it gives you an idea of what to expect for every team. That will be just, again, a summation, an average of all stats of that Pokemon. We also tried something new with efficiency rating. This was created by me and Marionette. It's essentially based on the typing kind of synergy of each team multiplied by the... how do I phrase this? It's the typing synergy of each team multiplied by the kind of like the sum of how good these Pokemon have been rated in the draft format. It's kind of complicated, but it does. That's essentially what it's doing. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. I don't even remember how I did it, honestly. But it's kind of a number. It's not exactly to be taken like to heart, but it's not. You can definitely look at it. It'll essentially the goal is to give us an idea of what team is how good. So we'll see if that performs like I want it to. Finally, we have the art tab, which is the same as it has always been. We are doing some new stuff with art where there is space for the scores to be put in. Finally, and we have the battle submissions. So also, actually, something that's cool about this is these will automatically light up based on the number of how high they are. So you can automatically see hot spots and bad spots. That is the Season 5 spreadsheet. So I think we went over everything. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are as amped as I am, because it's going to be a good season, and it's going to be fun to finally see people use my spreadsheet. Regardless, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's always very appreciated. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Kraken Nation, out.